Hello and welcome to Intel on AI. I'm your host, Ryan Carson from the Intel AI team. I'd like to welcome Jeff Boudier and Sudeep Sharma to the show today. It's going to be a great show. Jeff builds products at Hugging Face, and previously he was the co-founder of StoopFlix, which was acquired by GoPro, where he served as director of product management, product marketing, business development, and corporate development. Sudeep is the product manager at Amazon EC2, where he manages the portfolio of core Intel instances or VMs. Prior to AWS, Sudeep was a principal software developer at MathWorks, makers of MATLAB and Simulink software. Sudeep holds an MBA from Carnegie and a master's in electrical engineering from University of Texas. It's lovely to have you both here. I'm looking forward to our conversation. So let's get it started. Everybody is building on the cloud. And I'm curious, what are the key challenges your team, specifically EC2, faces in meeting customer demands? And how did the introduction of Gen 7 Intel-based instances really help address those?
So at EC2, as a part of core infrastructure team, we work on developing VMs or instances for our customers. We have a wide variety of workloads and use cases from different industries, be it financial, software, gaming, healthcare, travel, automotive, semiconductor, virtually any kind of workload that you could think of running on AWS. The main challenges that we face include the customers constantly demand for the latest and greatest technology with improved price performance benefits. And these customer workloads are constantly evolving, requiring new features and capabilities to be supported. The most recent example that comes to my mind is the support for bfloat16 and int8 data types, which is required for running AI/ML workloads. So the rapid pace of software development, accelerated by AI, puts increasing pressure on us to deliver the right features at a reasonable cost. Now, customers are looking to optimize cost and utilize and also maximize utilization specifically of the CPU resources that they run or that we deliver to them through AWS instances. Our goal is to consider all the customer challenges and unblock them to use the EC2 instances. What we typically do is we typically resolve these challenges by introducing newer generation of products. For example, last year in second half of 2023, we introduced our Gen 7 Intel-based instances. These instances are powered by Intel Sapphire Rapid processor, which has built-in accelerators, also has Intel AMX support to help with the AI/ML workloads.
Awesome. So Jeff, I've been a big fan of Hugging Face for a while now, and it was really exciting to see you roll out compute workloads in the cloud and doing inference right on the endpoints there. How have you developed this solution and thought about the product and serving customers better as you continue to innovate?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. Well, you were asking about challenges earlier. And, we make it easy for people to use AI to build their own AI. And maybe most people know about the most famous open model right now, which is Llama, the latest model from Meta. But we host over 1 million models today. On Hugging Face.
It's just a few.
Yeah, on the Hugging Face hub. And that's like 1 million models to classify text, to complete your sentences, to write summaries, to transcribe speech into text, to draw great images or understand them, to do anything really with machine learning. And so a key challenge for people is to really access, understand what is the right model for the job, and then build with these things. And that's what we're trying to do with our platform. In addition to making all of these models easy to use, to access, to build upon, we also wanted to make it as efficient as possible for companies to use them. And that's the approach that we took when we built Hugging Face Inference Endpoints, which is our service on the hub to easily take a model and turn that into a service or an endpoint. And so we wanted to enable that for any kind of model, and we want to give the customers choices so that they can select the best possible hardware for efficient serving of those models. That's why we were so excited to be invited to test before it was widely available the latest EC2 instances based on the 4th gen Xeon Intel CPUs, the Sapphire Rapids CPUs. We were able to test these on quintessential sort of Hugging Face use cases.
Absolutely.
And not just inference. Actually, we also tested them on training.
Absolutely.
What we were able to find was that we were able to get massive improvement in throughput, both for training, both for inference, both for transformers models and both for diffusers models. I think we have 2 blog posts or 3 blog posts up today on the Hugging Face blog. One shows how we clocked 8 times speed up.
Not bad.
When training a small language model. And then we served that model and we had a 3x speed up, which is really remarkable. We also tried that on Stable Diffusion and got more than 6x speed up on Stable Diffusion serving. So really impressive. And all of this is thanks to this AMX advanced matrix multiplication, the ability also to use new data types like BF16 and int8. So that's another important part of the mission, right? The mission of Hugging Face, we want to democratize good machine learning. Part of it is making things easy to use and to access. And the other thing is to make it cost effective so that companies can actually use them. So going back to Hugging Face inference endpoints today, if you go over there and deploy a model, you can select from these Sapphire Rapids based EC2 instances. Behind the hood, it is those R7IZ instances that Sudi was talking about. They're super easy to access, and I think it starts as low as like 3 cents per hour to use. So that explains why they're so popular on Hugging Face inference endpoints.
It's so affordable. And this is one of the reasons that I joined Intel, because I believe that the more choice people have for compute, the better the world will be. Right. And this is why I'm a big fan of how EC2 and AWS and Hugging Face have teamed up to say, let's make this more affordable and let's make it more accessible and let's make it faster. So it's exciting to see this happen. So Sudeep, as AWS started to work with Hugging Face to roll this out and make it really accessible, how did you resolve the issues and the challenges and the excitement of doing that?
Yeah. So at Amazon is a customer obsessed company, right? Everyone knows about it, right? So while working on designing new instances, we collaborate with our customers to understand their requirements. And this shapes the new features that we are going to add to our instances, right? We work backward from our customer needs to meet their requirements. It is very important and quintessential for us. This could include incorporating new features to our instances and also adding new capabilities. The Intel AMX is a great example, which Jeff and you just spoke about, right? While working together, the desired outcome is to ensure that our customers are able to continuously innovate to solve real world problems. And it's great to hear Jeff say that 8x improvement and 6x improvements for some of the large models that they've been able to use our R7IZ instances. That was a particular reason why we introduced new set of instances with our Gen 7, the compute optimized, the general purpose, and also a new memory optimized, and also a new category of instances called as flex instances, which we provided to our customers like Hugging Face, who further used to run these instances to run their application on these instances and optimize their workloads.
It's interesting because I think everybody assumes they need GPUs for these workloads. And it's really refreshing to see that there is unbelievably affordable and performant enough options to train and do inference with CPUs. Jeff, as you were thinking about the solution, what you were going to offer as a product, how did you decide to go down this route of exploring, the CPU option and partnering with AWS and Intel on that?
Well, I think one thing that's very important for us is that We want to offer choices to companies so that they can deploy the right kind of models for their use case. Right? We don't really believe in a world where there's one single gigantic model that can be applied to everything. We believe more in a world where use cases require companies to build their own custom, efficient, maybe sometimes smaller models, right? And so if you need to classify emails, you're not going to need a 100 billion parameter model. You can probably use another type of model. And so for each type of model, and so for each type of use case, you're going to have different requirements. Maybe latency is super important to you. Maybe you're going to send like a big batch of requests once a day. Maybe throughput is super important to you. And depending on all these parameters, it's really not obvious, like what is the best possible compute resources you can put behind that model. And so the same way that we want to support a wide diversity of use cases, of libraries, of model architectures, of model sizes, we also want to offer diversity of compute resources. So today, if you go to Hugging Face Inference endpoints, you will find a whole bunch of different CPU type of instances, all like specialized for AI workloads, and actually all Intel based instances, as you will find various GPU instances. You will also find AI accelerators that are built purposefully to support AI workloads. And we work closely with the teams at Intel on their Gaudi lines of accelerators we have for many years. We make them easy to use through a custom library, Optimum Habana. And we actually have a great blog post today that shows you how you can put these things together. An Intel Xeon instance powering an embeddings generation model together with a large language model powered by a Gaudi accelerator working together in a RAG system to build a complete solution for customers.
Absolutely. And again, this is what I think we're all excited. We're excited about offering more choice, more accessibility to everybody, because it will, a rising tide will lift all boats.
I also think that there are AI trends on CPU side as well, which we are seeing, right? Like as customers seek to harness the power of AI and ML, the demand for efficient and scalable solutions to handle this workload continues to grow, right? While GPU-based instances are preferred customer choice for most of the AI ML workloads, what we are seeing is that customers are looking for opportunities to even use CPU-based instances for their AI ML workloads, right? There are certain classes of AI ML workloads, such as, automatic speech recognition to figure out who is speaking, converting speech to text, sentiment analysis, that are well suited for CPU-based instances. And what we have heard from customers is that if their latency requirements are met, then they prefer running workloads on CPU-based instances, specifically inference-based workloads. So there is a...
Why not? It's cheaper. Yeah. It's just as performant. So it's exciting. So on that front, Sudeep, I know that AWS and Amazon has been investing a lot of time and money training folks. And I'm curious, how is that going? What are you investing more in? Tell us about that program and what you're doing next.
Yeah. So we want our customers to continuously innovate to solve real world problems, right? And to achieve this, it is important that we focus on building innovative programs that have a lasting and positive impact for the communities in which we operate. And designing STEM and skills training program are central to this approach. So we intend to continue increasing the access to skill training to give everyone who wants to further their cloud skill the tools to achieve this. In 2020, Amazon made a commitment to investing to help 29 million people grow their tech skills with free cloud skills training. The 29 million goal was set to be achieved by 2025, but in July 2024, we announced that we have not only met our goal, but have exceeded it. So far, we have been able to provide free training to 31 million learners, and it's counting.
Wow. 29 million was impressive, and beating it is even more impressive. So I'm very thankful that Amazon's investing in that and making those resources free for folks. I know Hugging Face prides itself on being accessible and easy to use and friendly as well. How are you thinking about training and education over at Hugging Face? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. I mean, we think that it's part of the mission, right? Our mission of democratization of good machine learning. So we invest a lot of time and resources into it. And I want to give a shout out to our open source team and our developer evangelism team. And they put out some amazing resources that you can find. They're free and easy to access. If you go to hf.co/learn, you will find free online courses to apply machine learning to natural language processing problems, to computer vision problems. We even have free courses on using machine learning for games. And even now, a new course on applying machine learning to robotics. So yes, education, super, super important to us. And we really want to build a world where everybody is able, every single company is able to build their own models and build their own AI features, not having to rely to one single gigantic closed model.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the future is bright, and I'm very excited about it. So Sudeep, there's a lot of competition out there, and I'm curious, how does AWS think about differentiating yourself from that competition?
Yeah. So AWS has been partnering with Intel since past 18 years, the longest of any cloud vendor. AWS and Intel's leadership team, engineering teams, and many other cross-functional teams have been engaged ever since AWS launched its first EC2 instance in 2006. And in those 18 years of collaboration, AWS has introduced more than 400 Intel-based instances, including the fastest Intel instances in the cloud across different AWS regions. And these different categories of instances that are used by customers to run wide varieties of workloads in cloud, our journey of innovation with Intel has continued, even with the fourth generation or the latest Sapphire Rapid-based instances that we have. So last year, we rolled out instances with Sapphire Rapid processor. These instances were built using a custom Intel CPUs, which was available to only AWS at that point of time. This custom CPU was developed in partnership with Intel, and the combination of AWS Nitro system, which is the foundational and the fundamental technology that underpins our EC2 instances, along with the custom Sapphire Rapid processor, allowed us to offer 15% better performance versus the other cloud providers using comparable Sapphire Rapid processors. Apart from this, our AWS Nitro system, which offloads the networking and EBS capabilities to dedicated hardware, also allows us to offer better performance versus our competition. So that's how we try to differentiate with competition. And that's what most of the customers say, that they get better performance at AWS.
I love it. I just think it's such an exciting time to be alive, to be building products on top of the shoulders of giants, right? And AWS has really worked hard to make that possible, and Hugging Face is making it accessible. And it's just, I'm so excited for the builders of the future. Speaking of that, Jeff, what kind of interesting use cases or services or products are you starting to see Hugging Face customers build on top of these endpoints?
Well, I think a trend that we have seen start with retrieval augmented generation, RAG, is sort of a transition between thinking of an AI feature as a model to a world in which we start thinking about AI systems in which multiple models work together to achieve that user experience. So an example of that is on Hugging Chat. Hugging Chat is like an open source chat GPT, right? You're using open models, using open source software. And initially, it was really a way for Hugging Face users to interact with the latest open model. So you can select I want to talk to Mistral. I want to talk to Cohere Command Error Plus. I want to talk to Meta Llama 3.1. But it's evolved into a much bigger system where you have the RAG system where an embeddings model is generating embeddings of your input so that we can look for relevant search results on the web. And then there is a summarization model that will summarize your conversation so that you can refer to it easily. And now we have agents and tools. So you can add an image generation tool. You can add a text summarization tool, etc. You can actually add any Hugging Face space as a tool for your chat experience.
Wow.
And so here you don't have one model in your chatbot experience. You maybe have 10 models working together to give you a better, safer, etc. Answer to your questions. I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I see that sort of come up in product experiences, product that I use every day in my work, where multiple models are working together to power these new AI features.
Absolutely. It's so exciting to think about folks using the right model at the right time for the right task affordably and effectively, right? And not deploying a Ferrari when they really just need a bike. Or when they need a Ferrari, using the Ferrari. But most of the time, you just need a good electrical bike. So there's the right model for the right task, which is exciting. And I'm very thankful that we have heavy hitters like AWS supporting massive innovation from folks like Hugging Face. So it's been a delight to chat with you both. And I am truly grateful for the hard work you're both doing to enable millions of people to really build the future and change the world. So thank you for taking time to be on the show. Jeff, where can folks go to learn a bit more?
Well, thanks, Ryan. Thanks so much for having me. We've been working with Intel for quite some time. We've built a lot of great software together. If people want to learn about how they can easily use the latest Intel features with Hugging Face, we have a library that's just for that. That's called Optimum Intel. So I think that would be a great resource for folks who want to learn more.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. And Sudeep, where should folks go to learn more as well?
So in our easy-to-instance web pages, you would find information about all the Gen 7 Intel instances that I was speaking about, M7i, R7iZ, M7i Flex, C7i Flex, C7i, R7i. It should also be displayed on your screen. So you should be able to find all the information about the instances in those web pages.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much, guys. And looking forward to seeing the continuing innovation and seeing what beautiful products people build. So thanks and have a lovely day.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Visit intel.com/AI to learn more.